This week's topic came from Jackie, who wanted to know how to embrace failure, which means that this week's topic, you guessed it, is about embracing failure as the pathway to success. In the first video, I talked about a time where I felt like I just got through a failure. In the next video, I talked about how I made it through a failure to find success. In this video, I'm focusing on a time I embraced failure to find success. The next video will be a meditation, and then you'll see the Friday or the Friday Ditty, where I pull it all together and I get a little more poetic and a little more nerdy, and I make sense of the journey. All the videos will appear in the playlist, Embracing Failure, the Pathway to Success. So, if you have a question like Jackie did, comment below or DM me on Instagram. I'm Angela, and this is me making sense of myself. The question I'm starting with today is, how have you embraced failure to find success? How have I embraced it? I've embraced it by being willing to try new things that I'm afraid of. And I think some of the other ways that I've embraced it is knowing that the first time I try something, I'll probably fail. And, that's not necessarily true. I don't think that's true. I think that being willing to try things gives me that sense that, I might fail. And if I do, that's okay. And I love that... who was the author? The author was Teddy Roosevelt, and Brene Brown has it at the beginning of her book, The Daring Greatly speech, where it talks about, if you're in the arena and you're marred by sweat and blood and tears, I think that means you're in the arena. You're no longer a spectator, and that's, if you ask me, that's where life happens. So I think that having that poem right behind, or part of that poem right behind me, and reminding myself, do I have other things that say failure? Stay curious. How will I be surprised? I do have another thing I've got here. It says, how will I accomplish the impossible? I will do what it takes. I will strengthen my faith. I will relentlessly seek for truth. I will have unyielding persistence, and I will cheerfully fulfill my purpose. I think all of those things help me embrace failure. What effort did you put into getting to a sense of succeeding? There's a lot of effort that goes into overcoming challenges and being willing to fail that gets me there. I think that there can be a lot of emotional angst, concern, thought processes. I spend a lot of time myself in meditation to help me make sense of what's happening around me, because sometimes I don't have any control over whether or not something fails. I may do everything right and it still fails. And then there are other times where I make beautiful mistakes and it turns out fantastic. Like this one time at Thanksgiving, my sister and I were making a turkey and we forgot to put the water in the bottom of the pan. Thank goodness we had caked the turkey in butter. So not only was the turkey amazing, but then we had this amazing gravy. So many things came out of that Thanksgiving because we were like, well, we're just going to be surprised and see what happens, and I had questioned if we put water in the turkey, but she was certain we did, and I was like, I don't know, and I didn't insist on checking, but it worked out. So see, sometimes mistakes turn into beautiful successes. So I think it's not being afraid. And there is effort, I think, not required, but that's needed to be like, okay, let's see what happens. And I remember this book I read. It was a series by Sarah J. Maas, The Glass Castle. And in the beginning of the book, there's a character, her name's Selena Sardothian. And she would say, I am Selena Sardothian, and I am not afraid. And sometimes I'll put that mantra on myself. I am Angela, and I am not afraid. So I think, really putting in that effort to have the mindset is super helpful. When did you know you were succeeding in embracing failure? I don't think I consciously knew that I was getting better at embracing failure until recently. When I listened to one of the Hidden Brain podcasts on mistakes, and then I listened to the book by Amy Edmondson, The Right Kind of Wrong. It may have started a little bit before when I read Stuart Firestein's book, Failure. But with his book, I think it was, there was this excitement. Oh, you mean I can fail and I'll be okay? Like, it's actually kind of important. Scientists use it all the time. Why can't I apply this in my life on a daily basis? So I think, like, that book gave me the not the desire, but maybe the willingness, or there's a word there. But it gave me something that the gumption, maybe, to be like, okay, I can go fail and be okay. So, what skills did you pick up that you will use the next time failure comes along? I think the skills would be asking questions, looking at what happened, seeing if there were some mistakes along the way that weren't intelligent mistakes. Like maybe there's something that I was tired and I was doing something anyway. And because of that, I didn't see something, or I was distracted, really looking at what was it, was this mistake just something that happened that was out of my control, or was it something that I could have, if I would have done A, B, or C, then maybe it wouldn't have, we could have sidestepped the failure and found success. So I think it's just being willing to take a look and see what was it about this moment, or what was it about the steps up into this moment. I would love to hear from you. When have you embraced failure and found success? These videos will be located in the playlist Embracing Failure, the Pathway to Success. I'm Angela, and this is me making sense of myself.